Hello guys, let's continue our journey in developing the end language. So in this session we will treat the object attributes or fields. So as you see in this example, we have the usual one, the class declaration, which we did in the past session, also as instantiation. And in this video we will treat how to set fields to some object and how to get that field. So as you see, we have the bytecode here for setting a field, like the person, it has an age 20. So we will get to the global variable for the parsing stuff. We will get the variable p, and the variable p, it has a value as a person instance, and then we have a dot, and also we will continue, and we have an assignment. Then I will load to the stack 20, and then we turn back to this field, and we introduce a new bytecode called offset property on that name age. So in the stack we will have something like person instance, then we have the value, and when we have the VM will interpret the set property, it will add that field in the person instance. The person instance is at the position 1 from the top of stack, and the value is at the position 0 from the top of the stack. So as you see, we have the person instance, it point to the class, and also it point to a hash table of fields. So here, as you see, we need to add a key called age and a value called 20. So let's see how we get that value. So the thing that we need to parse is to get that global variable p, and its value is a person instance, as you see in the stack, and also we have to emit a bytecode called object property and the name of the property. So in the perspective of the VM, when it read that, it will search in the table or in the hash table of field of that the field name is age, and it will search in the table of field of that person instance, that PO. So guys, let's jump right to the code and implement these two bytecodes and see how we will parse that. So we need to go to our check.h and add two more bytecodes. The first one is get property, and the second one is set property. So let's go and do the debugging stuff. Debug.c, and let's add these two bytecodes. So usually it's a constant instruction, so I just will copy that and paste that. So it's a get property, so let's pass another one. Set property, and it's a set property. So that's good for now. So let's go to our compiler, and so we need to go to the grammar to update that column to add the dot token. So okay, we have here the call, we have a primary, and then here we will add the dot. It could be a call or a dot identifier. Also, as for assignment, I will update the assignment. So the assignment should be also, it could be a call and a dot, and that is optional. Always the assignment will finish by a identifier, then an assignment assigned. So that's it. So it could be some user call a method, and then this method will return an object, and then we call another field or something like that, and then we assign some value. So that's it for grammar. So let's go to token for rules, token dot, and in token dot it's a infix operation. So we will call the handler function called dot, and the precedence, it's a call. It's like the left parent for calls. So we will add here static void dot call can assign, and let's go to call, and here we'll add that function static void dot can assign, and so what we need to do is to consume token identifier. So if not, I will raise an error called property accept property name after a dot. So then I will make identifier constant from the previous token, and then we'll check if can assign and match token, so that it should be a set property, and then I will call the expression, and then I will emit bytes of set property, and I will emit that constant. Else what I need to do is just to emit bytes of get property on that constant. So that's it. So let's go to the VM and see how the VM will interpret it. So after operation class, we'll go here, case of get property, and also for case of set property. So for get property, I need first of all to check is instance the value on the top of the stack. So user might do something like x dot one dot a, and this, it could be not an object, so I need to raise an error. So that's what I need to do. So runtime error, only instances have properties, and I will return a interpret runtime if it is a instance, what I need to do is to get that instance from the stack. Instance. So as instance, so the instance should be at the top of the stack. Then I need to get the name. So the name is on read string. So before, so after get property, you will see a name, and the instance will be on the top of the stack. So that's what I need to do. So then I will make a value. So I will push it on the stack later. Table get. So I will search in the instance fields table, and the key as name. So if it get it, it will put it on the value. So the value will be on that variable value. So then what I need to do is to pop the value from the stack and push that value. So I need to pop the instance from stack and push the get it value. So then I will just break, otherwise I will raise a runtime error. So I will say undefined property with that name, shards, and I will return an interpret runtime error. So if I didn't, so let's imagine that we don't have age on this field table. What I need to do is to raise an error that says undefined property. So that's it. So let's go to set property. So for the set property, I need also to check if is it an instance, but on the second place from the top of the stack. So we are on the set property. So remember guys, the VM will treat that bytecode. So the instance is at the first place from the top. This is the 0 place, and this is the first place from the top of the stack. So I will raise an error, runtime error, only instances have fields, so return interpret runtime error. So I will get that instance from the stack. As instance pick one, and then I will set that into the instance field, and I will read the string. This is the key, and the value will be first the first element from the top of the stack. So this element is 0. So then when I set that field, what I need to do is to pop the value from the stack, the 20 in that case, and I will do another pop to pop the person instance because I don't need it anymore. I need only that one, so I will pop this and this, and then I will push that one, and then I will push that value, and then I will break. So that's it. So let's go and make our sample. So let's say that person has an age 20, and then I need to print that age. Let's say person age is p.age. So let's rebuild the project. Make clean, make all. So in the compiler, so vim compiler.c. So here it match token equal for assignment, and here property. So let's clear that and let's rebuild the project. So in the VM as instance, as instance. So far so good. So as you see, everything is good. So let's print our sample and let's run our interpreter on that sample. Don't worry about that because we don't have concatenation on string and numbers. So what I need to do is just to go here and make a new print p.age, and that's it. So let's see the bytecode. So as you see, for class declaration and for instantiation, and here for assignment, assigning a 20 to the field age, and then we have some constant to print a string, and then we get that global, and then we get the property age and we print that. So let's see how we assign that in the instruction 11. So let's go to 11. So we have op get global. So we have a op get global. So there is an issue here because, as you see guys, the script has been popped from the stack, so there is an issue. So I think the issue is on so here we define the global, and then I define the global. So see that guys, we have a op class person. I push the person the stack. I define that class to person. So I have the script, and then directly we pop. So what I need to do is to push another class person here because I need that. So let's go to our compiler.c and let's go to class declaration. So here we will use that function named variable on the parser previous with a false kind of sign, false. So that will ensure that on the stack we still have that class instance. So let's go back and see. Let's reload the project. Cat sample, and so here when we pop that, we get okay, when we define the class, what will happen is we get that global. Okay, that's it. So that ensure that the script doesn't pop up from this from the stack. So as you see, we have defined that, and also we get that global class and we push it to the stack, and then we have that pop. So after that we have the instantiation. As you see, we get the global class and called, and we have a person instance, and we define that global to be p person instance. So in the assignment we have get global p person instance, and we have 20, and what we need to do is to set that property 20 to that field age. So it does set it, and we push that value to the stack. We pop this too and push it here, and then we have another pop, so that's fine. And we have a string to print. We print that string, and here is the get global. We get the instance. We should get in the instance and get the field. So as you see, we get the instance and we get the property, and the property is 20, and we print that. So it's fine, guys. So let's go to common.h and comment this debug. So we do that to see clearly the result. So as you see, the person is 20. So guys, it's really helpful. We know though how to declare classes, and how we associate objects, and how we define and get the fields of an object. So guys, I will see you in another session to continue on developing this concept of OOP, and we will add more things like methods, and how to call or invoke a method of an object. So see you guys in another session.